The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Good morning and welcome back to Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. You are tuned into Guardian Radio AM with C.A. Newry, and in honor of Women's Month, Mr. C.A. Newry let me open his show for him one day while he is in studio. But more importantly, Mr. Newry has graciously allowed me to extend this segment with Dr. Nyambi Campbell Hall Dean. Hall Campbell Dean. That's my bad. I always wish I could have that many names. If I tell you all what my names are, you're going to laugh at me forever, though. So we want to extend this conversation as we talk about, we're talking about the decade for people of African descent, the second decade for people of African descent, and why, in the context of an event or juxtaposed to an event that's happening this evening, I Have a Dream, Recognition, Justice, Development, lecture series celebrating the 8th Inter-American Week for People of African Descent, second decade. So how can I find, where's the space where I can find this information? Because now that I know that we are also recognizing an Inter-American Week, right? Mm-hmm. For people of African descent, I also want to clue into that programming, get a sense of what's happening, and if I can, or anybody, any NGO or individual, can organize activities around the issue and connect directly or formally with the regional and global activities and events.
Sure. So first, I would say follow the Bahamas National Reparations Committee on our social media platforms. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and it's X now, at 242 Reparations. So all of our activities and things, you can connect with us with that. Also, one of the things, in the Bahamas, we have people that are major players, and we don't always recognize or know, that the roles that they are playing. But one of the panelists for tonight is Miss Gaynell Curry. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. And she is a member of the United Nations Permanent Forum for People of African Descent. Mm-hmm. And so she is doing this work of advocating for the second decade, seeing some of the needs of people in the diaspora in regards to the second decade, specifically focusing on issues of African women and girls, right? Mm-hmm. Saying we have these SDGs, but are they really speaking to the specific needs of African women and girls, and how do our needs play out differently than others?
And let me give you a quick example I like to pull up all the time, right? In the Bahamas, women of African descent tend to, and I think there's a trend if we put our pen in the numbers, that we see that a number of women have menses issues, right? Complications with their menstrual cycle, like PCOS, endometriosis, extreme bleeding and pain and discomfort during their cycle. But I want to focus on the sort of excessive or extreme bleeding, right? Menstrual health products like tampons come in various sizes, from light to regular, to super plus, to ultra or maxi, depending on the brand that you get. Maxi or ultra provides the greatest capacity for absorbency. That size, that type of tampon is not available in our region. It is difficult or almost impossible. In fact, the one time that I saw that product in our local store, I wanted to buy all, but then I also realized that no, you can't buy all because you have to let other women have the opportunity to access it. But the the person responsible for that section said, "We didn't order these. These were sent to us accidentally. I will attempt to see if we could get more, but what I've learned is that they're not available in our region."
Wow.
And so here we are, primarily African descent women with a condition that the majority, right, like a significant number of African descent women are experiencing, not just in the Bahamas, but across the region. And that product is not available to us, even though it's available on the global market.
Yeah.
You'd have to purchase it abroad and ship it in yourself. And we know that there's duty in. Anyway.
Yeah.
Free the women, man. Free the women.
Free the women. And so with that, right, Marion Bethel, also chair of CEDAW, UN convention. So we have, you know, Bahamians that are major players on the international stage that are doing the work of this second decade. And so we just want to try and take advantage of this second decade to really try and highlight some of this work and also advocate for around some of these issues.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm excited about it. And so it's two things. I want to continue. I know when I started the show, I would do a regular segment on the decade for people of African descent. I'm glad to see they picked it up again. I'd love to do a regular segment with Reparations Committee, whether members are available to join the conversation, or if you send me some information. This is what we're focused on now in the region, and I could compose my own show. You could send me some guests. But also, Doctor, while I have you in the room, somebody reminded me that you are a community psychologist, and I'm desperate. I would like to urgently produce a segment for the show on community psychology and the needs of community beyond just bare economics, right? And we look at the intersection of economics and psychology, how a lack or how poverty drives particular conditions, and the tools and resources that we could give people to begin to shift. See, I'm one of those people, I ain't gonna tell somebody pull up their bootstraps without determining whether they even have shoes. Right? I ain't on that run. You could take care of yourself? How? You know? And so I'd love to create a space, particularly since, and I can reference something political, since the government like to refer to COVID and Dorian all the time. Almost 5 years, 5 years later, 6 years later for Dorian, COVID not so much, then, you know, we could refer to it, we could go back as well. And I think people need a space to explore how they have been impacted by these major events outside of the political realm and outside of the economic realm. We need space to talk about it because we have not talked about it enough. We are demonizing and vilifying people who, if they lived in other countries, in more developed countries, they would be recognized as victims of circumstances beyond their control, and they would be given access to tools to help them right themselves and order themselves, right, without being chastised or embarrassed by state programs and our prevailing political culture. I mean, I know that was a lot of words, but that's what I'm trying to construct, a regular conversation that also allows ordinary people to contribute about what they're thinking, what they're going through, and the strategies they've devised.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be really important, especially when we see at least anecdotally, the rises of suicide in the country, right? That people need outlets to really express what is happening to them, what they're experiencing. I know that the University of the Bahamas is having a forum on April 8th around COVID and some of the impacts and research that persons have done in regards to that. And myself, Dr. Stephanie Hutchinson, and William Fielding will be presenting on some of the psychosocial stress factors that people would have experienced or highlighted.
Yeah.
What data we collected during COVID.
Absolutely. I think we need conversations juxtaposed to policy statements, or not even policy statements, but statements from like the minister responsible for health and wellness with concern about the rise in suicides, right? Well, let's not just have a policy statement, let's actually bring the community stakeholders and professionals to the fore, not to frame because I want you all to frame the conversation. Tell me what we should be talking about, and then let me attempt to create a space for those conversations.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, Dr. Dean, I can cut out the rest. I like conch salad. Dr. Dean, you gonna be there tonight?
I will be there tonight. Absolutely. I will be there tonight. So I hope that the Bahamian public at large will join us for this interesting conversation and come out and find out what this decade is all about. You know, if you didn't know that there was a first one, here's your chance to make up for it and engage with us. I think it's going to be a really enlightening and interesting conversation.
I hope you all prepare as much time for the question and answer period as you do for the panelists and the keynote speaker, because people come in with a question and a comment.
Yeah.
That is the Bahamian way.
Right.
And I appreciate it, because what Bahamians are trying to do is they're trying to build context. They're trying to give you the context to understand the question that they're about to ask you.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Doctor, thank you so much for joining us this morning. I don't know if you want to stay for the rest of the conversation. We're delving into what's in the headlines. Maybe in your capacity as a community psychologist, you may feel a need to add context to the conversation, maybe sometimes straighten us up and correct our misconceptions. See, I got one text here that says, I ain't gonna lie, I soon stopped listening to this station because y'all is led. See Al and them run on and defend the opposition like they get a pass. He might as well go take Dwayne Sand's job. Y'all musty don't want to make no money because every morning he doing political ads. Dear texter, you may have noticed that I let C. Allen speak, and then as soon as I figured out what he was gonna say, I rephrased it, right? But here's the second thing. This week, I've referenced the people who are affiliated publicly with political parties, and I recognize that when they call in as well. But why you don't say something other than that? I mean, the Sixth Sense, you used to say that. We already know that. We already know that people are wary of callers using these platforms to promote their political agendas without declaring outright that it is a political agenda. We know that. We know that. And as the silly season ramps up, I'm sure we're going to prepare for more of it. I think just for this moment, Doctor, I think it's important for hosts and listeners to get a sense of what's happening in this space, right? Like I tell people all the time, I'm willing to stop and have a conversation with listeners because I recognize that being on the radio every day, sometimes people feel like, you getting in my brains and I don't have an opportunity to respond to you. And so when people stop and they want to say something, I try to make space for that because I could appreciate how it feels to feel like somebody's talking to you all the time and you don't get to talk back to them, right? And how that impacts people who've grown up in spaces where the people in their families didn't necessarily listen to them. And even when they responded, you could tell right away that they weren't really hearing what you were saying. They weren't really connecting with what you were saying. And I think for this media space, it's important to recognize what it means to people, right? At the community level, the ability to hear what's happening in the country, the ability to share and engage and share what you know. Like we had a caller today that called in and corrected my guess to say, no, it wasn't George Foreman who fought Muhammad Ali twice. It's the other boy in the name just went out. Huh? Yeah, there you go. No, I don't think it was Frazier. Anyway, the point is the name went out of my head. He came and he made the correction.
Yeah.
And then he also said, you know what, you guys, if you get a chance, go look for a clip with Muhammad Ali sitting next to Don King, like promoting the fight, and get a sense of the confidence that Muhammad Ali had about. And so people want to share in their heart. The time when I asked the people if anybody know why Ronnie Butler say don't mind Livingston Josiah's the JP in front of the song Burma Road, and then we had a caller that called in and said, let me tell you all something. It's a man named Baigadou who used to sit on the wall opposite Miriam Roker house. Miriam Roker is an icon in the Fox Hill community. I think a nurse and a teacher, possibly, but this guy used to sit on the wall opposite the house every day and strum his guitar and make up song and tell story, right? And we would never have gotten that if we didn't create a space where people felt like my contribution is valid, even as small as it is.
Yeah.
Right? And so anyway, these are the sorts of things I want to talk about in a segment with local professionals in the psychology space, in the community development space, in the health and wellness space.
Beautiful.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
So tell your people, think about it.
Okay.
And even if you want to frame, even if you all want to frame what the discussion would look like, and send it to me. And I'm down for it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. I know if you have to go now, I appreciate it. Teachers have to go to work, and they only work 8 months a year, but they always working.
Listen, it's crunch time.
Thank you for joining me, taking this time out to join me. And thank you to Mr. Newry for extending this time as well.
Thank you for having me. Look forward to seeing you tonight.
I can try to get there. I got 4 events to prepare for Saturday. So
Okay.
I trying to come out.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Or is there a Zoom link? You know if there'll be a Zoom link available?
No.
All right, that means you all come out and somebody bring your phone with plenty battery power, record the vibe. Let's get as many people connected as possible.
Yes.
Have a great day, ma'am.
Have a great day, y'all too.
You guys stay tuned to Guardian Radio AM with C.A. Newry. I think I can coax him to join the conversation in a moment.
Just sign in and have a seat, please. They'll call you in for your x-ray shortly.
That's why they call it a waiting room. You won't have that problem at Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center or Imaging at Grosvenor. We never schedule multiple appointments, so you'll be in and out in no time. And if your initial screening reveals a concern, our radiologist can conduct an alternative screening right then and there. Call 328-8157 to schedule an appointment at Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center or Imaging at Grosvenor today.
Love the show? Want to give your support? Become a sponsor today. Call 302-2300 for our rates and packages. That's 302-2300. Become a sponsor on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Looking for insurance that fits your lifestyle and your budget? At Star General Insurance, we've got you covered. Whether it's motor insurance with flexible options for third-party liability and comprehensive coverage, or commercial insurance products that protect your business, we have choices you can afford. Own a home or renting? Our home insurance products have just what you need. And for the adventurers out there, we offer marine insurance too. Visit our website or social media pages for contact information and quotes. Star General, insurance made simple.
You try to rest, roll with the best. For all your printer, no. For posters and banners, magazines and flyers. For window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big and there's no job too small. You name it, we can print it. Just give us a call. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Love the show? Want to give your support? Become a sponsor today. Call 302-2300 for our rates and packages. That's 302-2300. Become a sponsor on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Everybody Wins Live is bringing you the ultimate giveaway, a brand new Cybertruck. For every $30 spent, you're in the drawing for the ultimate grand prize, a Cybertruck. Join live at the Vibes Cartel concert March 29th. You'll also be automatically entered to win tickets to see the world boss himself. 25 lucky winners every single week. Visit everybodywinslive.com to get into the game. See website for full terms and conditions. Must be 18 or over to participate.
Yeah! Oh, shucks. Thank God it's Friday, no waking till Monday. My bags are back, going back to the family islands. Hey. Gonna get a little R&B.
And welcome back to Guardian Radio AM. Of course, this is C.A. Newry. Thanking Erin Green for holding on for me just now as she interviewed Dr. Naomi Campbell Dean. I know I misheard her name.
Naomi Hall Campbell Dean.
Yeah. Dean. Dr. Dean. I'm always a fan of hers, and it's good to see that she continues to fight. Erin, I'm not sure if you saw a video circulating.
Mm-hmm.
It's a video of... I laughed. I got frustrated. It was a number of emotions I did. Right, I smiled at the end of it. It was a tour bus, a tourism tour bus, a double-decker bus that does tour in that Bay Street area, that downtown area, and it stopped working. It stopped for whatever reason. These things happen, right? And the tour guide, the bus was full with tourists, by the way, and the tour guide jumped out of his tour bus and decided to push the bus. And I said, okay, these things happen. Sometimes you have to do these things. But he didn't just push the bus. Just good German pushed the bus for at least a mile to 2 along the road on East Bay Street. Pass a gas station. Going to Montague. Park his tour bus so his tourist guests could do whatever they could. I'm not sure if you saw that video.
Oh, I saw the video.
Yeah. You saw the video when someone else stopped to help him?
I saw the video when the tourists... See, this is what I'm saying. This is why I prepared to fire the whole Ministry of Tourism, Aviation, and Investments right now.
What you mean?
Because that tourist had the best tourist... He had the best experience ever. That boy had a ball. That boy...
Was a tourist?
That was a tourist.
I thought it was a Conky Joe Bay.
No, I mean, if he is, then he may be like Abaco with the like on the American side.
Okay.
But that boy had an American accent.
I mean, he recorded it too. I appreciate it.
And white boy them from the Bahama Islands, they wear t-shirt. They don't bear back like that for nothing.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. And so I fired him because this boy had a ball. Mm-hmm. He was like, I mean, first of all, he recorded it.
Yeah.
He was happy. I mean, he was entertained.
He was entertained. It was an experience.
I want y'all to know that we got to fire y'all because this boy could just push bus and enjoy himself the whole time he's here.
It reminded me of a Family Island experience, like something I would see on the Family Island.
Yeah, see, because if the bus break down on the Family Island, right? Then cheapest we just push this ourselves.
Yeah.
We might have to sleep here if we don't mobilize ourselves to move forward. Yeah. But this is New Providence. So yesterday when I mentioned the story, I had a number of texts come in to say, there's an electric bus nowhere. And I made the point, why did you push it past the gas station? It was an electric bus. I think those people presume I thought it ran out of gas, and that's why he should have pushed it to the gas station.
Yeah, you pushed the gas station because the bus break down.
That's right. To get it off the road and get the tourists off the road safely as possible. That's why you're supposed to push the bus into the gas station.
But do gas stations allow breakdown vehicles to be parked in the gas stations?
I mean, I'm sure that gas stations are going to discourage you from abandoning a vehicle there, right? But they certainly don't want you to abandon your vehicle in the road in a way that disrupts their business. So you've abandoned your vehicle and now their customers can't get in to get gas. Mm-hmm. But I would have thought since... I just could say it, since we've declared that tourism is our religion and Chester Cooper is our Lord and Savior, that everybody would be willing to accommodate the tourism product in the Bahamas, right? And so, I mean...
Would you have stopped to help push that
I would have stopped to help push...
drive right past
I would have stopped to help push the bus. However, I would have insisted, right? You turn this bus into the gas station or into the Harbor Bay parking lot until we could wait for assistance, or push it into the bus stop right opposite Harbor Bay and make the tourists get off the bus. Because here's why. See, yesterday on my way home on that same route, one big Jack in the Beanstalk ignored the stop sign at Williams Court next to Seafront Sushi, just flew into the road, didn't enter his lane, cut across the lanes, cut me off, drop his speed to about 12 miles, and decided that when somebody blows their horn to make sure that you are alert and aware that there are other cars on the road, He took such great offense that he decided he's going to try brake check me and prevent me from changing lanes as I went up East Bay Street. Now imagine if a tourist bus was there and got caught up in the foolishness with this boy doing foolishness on the road. Right? See, that's what the problem is. The bus breaking down in and of itself may not be the biggest problem. The boy pushing the bus may not be the biggest problem. The boy not realizing that he should have caused the tourist to leave the bus, get off the bus to a point of safety so he could push the bus in the road, and it may have been easier to push, right? With all of that.
Well, someone had to be steering the bus, so that's good. Before we,
I just need before I go to bed tonight to have a sense that somebody is taking it seriously, and I get the sense that it's only 7 of us that are taking it seriously, and none of us are in charge of anything.
Before we pivot and talk about something else, I see we have 2 phone calls here.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you see the Prime Minister announcement that he may lower VAT even more. I mean, that's something to celebrate. I'm not sure you saw the headline. I think that's a tribute.
I'm prepared to celebrate his resignation. That's the most creative euphemism I've ever heard. I've never heard anybody say, retire me right now.
You don't believe our Prime Minister was serious that he's going to lower VAT? He may lower VAT.
I think he is serious when he says, back me, and I may cut VAT again.
Yeah, if you back him, he may cut it.
I gotta back him straight back to Cat Island.
Let's go to... I don't know what he means by that.
Yes, sir. I'm willing to interrogate that.
Okay, let's go to the first caller. Let's go through the people. Welcome again to Guardian Radio AM. Of course, this is CA Newry. Aaron Graham's with me. You ready for that VAT decrease? Go ahead, caller.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
I just got the call last night. I heard Aaron talking about Don King.
Yeah, we were talking about Foreman. Called in and asked me to recognize the passing of George Foreman.
Oh, yeah, he's a great fighter. May he rest in peace. Yeah. Now, I'm talking about Don King. Now, Don King, he's 96 years old.
Don King's still alive?
Yeah, he's 96 years old, and he did an interview about George. And this is what he said. Human, I've never heard said this. He said to George, keep the light on, because I'll be joining you very soon. I was shocked to hear him say that. He tells George, keep the light on, because I'll be there visiting you very soon. Okay?
Yeah.
And Don King is very flamboyant, and I can truly say this. There are only 2 Bahamians that I know fight for Don King production. One is Stephen Lee Larimore, and one is myself. And I still have my 2 contracts.
Okay?
And it was a great, great experience.
Awesome.
Okay? And Aaron, I want to tell you this. Thank God for boxing. That is why I am here today.
That's why I here today, too, because if you see what them 2 raccoon try to do with me and Mike the Neptree, buddy, I had to put a 1-2 combo on them.
But that's all good. That's all good.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, caller.
Okay.
All right, have a great weekend.
Let's go to the next caller there, producer. Go ahead, caller. Guardian Radio AM.
Yes, good morning, Miss Green. Good morning, Mr. Newry.
Good morning.
Hey, Miss Green.
Yes, sir.
I got a joke. You know what I've done? You know what I would have done, see, Newry?
Mm-hmm.
I would have jumped out and helped push it right to the first gas station, nearest gas station, and that was it. I'm calling you just to continue to express what the imbecility that's taking place on the thoroughfares, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thoroughway, right? And I was riding south on East Street, and there's a guy heading north. He makes a sudden turn and turns through the corner, turning on the signal. So predictive driving don't work all the time, man, because I really never predicted that an imbecile could do such a thing, but he did it with such a speed and so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And, there's a new style now, Aaron, in which the young females, it's fashion now to hold the phone like with the next hand and then have it to your mouth and then thing, right? She looks in my face as she pulls out haphazardly in the front of me. So, you know, it's you see what I'm saying?
Happened to me 3 times yesterday. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Happened to me 3 times yesterday, caller.
Let's go to the next caller there. Go ahead, caller. Guardian Radio AM.
How you doing?
Good, thank you.
Yeah, tell 52, right, that we have found a solution to his problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's called the Tamarind Switch.
The Tamarind Switch.
Okay, another thing, right?
Yeah.
Boy, the PLP came up with one of the best ideas ever.
What was it?
Another holiday. You heard about how they plan on making Linden Finland Day a holiday?
Yeah, we briefly discussed that yesterday. What do you think about it? You want the holiday?
Oh, yeah. You know, we in Fox Hill, we love holidays.
No, we like being off. Yeah. Yeah, we like being off.
Okay. should it be a Pindling Day holiday, or should we be commemorating another significant person? Has Pindling had sufficient commemoration?
Oh no, I think he really deserves a holiday.
Okay.
To be quite frankly.
All right.
What you think about it? I mean, not even to be political about it, but the man was actually a great man, so I think that he deserves a holiday.
All right. I think it's a good idea, but I don't think it could. Okay. If it happens, then
no. So if you like, let's take the politics away from
exactly. That's the point I'm trying to make.
That's so medical.
And
let's just base it on the man greatness himself, outside of politics.
Okay, so two things to make it non-political, right? So it has to be non-partisan, but it is obviously political because he was a political figure.
I got you. So you can't really separate the two.
Right, but I think the important thing is to not allow it to go the way of Majority Rule Day. If it becomes a national holiday under the APLP administration, I fear that the FNM party will not engage in it in a way that disrupts it as a national celebration. I think what we should do is we should demand that an FNM opposition and any other opposition party, if it comes up under a PLP administration, commits to it publicly in writing, right, to support it. That's what we have to do. But it shouldn't come from a political party. These things should come from the ground up. It really should come from the people. And that's the indictment. The indictment is if it hasn't come from the people, then maybe we're not ready for it yet. Newry, I think on to the next caller.
Yeah. So what you think about the lowering of VAT?
The lowering of VAT on unprepared food items to 5.
No, not that. The headline today, man.
Oh.
That be ready for, no, we're talking about if you vote for the PLP.
Oh.
This seems to be a good election thing, right?
Back for me, and
it
I
may
think-
be a good reason to support the PLP, surely. The lowering of VAT. What the PM said.
Okay, let's read from the article. I can tell you what I feel about it in a second. Prime Minister Philip Brave Davis suggested yesterday that additional value-added tax cuts could happen if Bahamians continue to support his government. So what you're telling me is that you have the potential to lower or remove VAT off a medication. We ain't gonna do it unless we commit publicly to voting for you. Yeah. You think you can treat us like you treat the unions?
What do you mean how you treat the unions?
What do you mean? What I mean?
They don't treat the unions badly.
What do you mean about the MOU and...
Yeah, vote for me, and then I'll help you all with your union issues.
Yeah, no. PM, back me and I may cut VAT again. It sounds to me like you saying, listen, I have the power right now.
He said he may.
Listen, that's because that's what I mean. Let me interpolate it. Let me interpolate it. Let me New King James version it,
yes.
Right? I have the power to lower VAT on medicine right now.
Yes.
But I am not going to do it unless y'all show me y'all going to vote for me again.
That he may do it, though.
See, remember the conversation we were having about Marco Rubio?
Mm-hmm.
Small, young Cuban descendant, scared of the big world. Now he have... Anyway, that story in the Cuban visa restriction thing. Remember that? And Rowley from Trinidad said, wait, this visa?
Keep it.
If it means saving lives in my own country, you could keep it. Right? Motley? Motley said, man, I like the U.S., but sure. Our leader said, we don't think we're breaking the law. We can look at it. If we are, we may be, but I don't think, no, we're not breaking the law. The part about would gladly forego my U.S. visa if it meant saving lives, we didn't say any of that. The point is...
I think ours is better and more tempered. That's of a
Oh, no, I mean, that was a great diplomatic statement.
Yes.
But the point is, you have the power to enact life-saving policy decisions right now. But you say... But the headline says, PM, back me and I may cut VAT again. Let's read it. Let me read from the...
Then we go to the callers.
Again, PM Davis suggested yesterday that additional value-added tax cuts could happen if Bahamians continue to support his government. He made these comments amid the expected reduction of the value-added tax VAT rate from 10% to 5% on certain unprepared food items starting April 1st.
Look at them.
I don't like April 1st for a day to start anything.
No?
Not the government.
But April 1st right around the corner. It'll be 5%.
It's also April Fool's Day.
Yeah. And even more in the future. VAT might go down to 2%.
Even more fools in the future. I agree.
Yeah, but anyway.
When asked by a reporter if there would be further VAT decreases with the general election approaching, Mr. Davis replied, quote, "We don't know.
You don't know.
It depends.
It depends on what?
It depends on our fiscal standing. The Bahamian people have been working with me in a more an extraordinary way." What? No, we haven't. And the reward for that work is my ability to cut VAT on food by 5%.
There you go.
You remember?
I listened to you.
I say, remember when I tell the story yesterday about the contract I didn't sign?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, let me repeat that. The Bahamian people have been working with me in a more, an extraordinary way, and the reward for that work is my ability to cut VAT on food by 5%. Quote, "If we continue to work as we have been working together, likely cuts will be imminent," close quotes.
There you go.
Mr. Newry, I'm so disappointed in this statement. And let me tell you, it's the disappointment compiles when you realize that this statement follows the most recent release from the Office of the Prime Minister statement from the OPM on the government's approach to energy reform. That all they did is talk about the FNM.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's disappointing, and it's bordering on frightening.
You know what I want to talk about also, Aaron? Recently, the opposition leader, Pintard, criticized the government about its dealings or its continued contracts with
the LNG.
No, he said for political cronies, right? In terms of, I think he's meaning Sir Franklin Wilson. In terms that I think he has 4. That's me now. I'm not sure. 4 different contracts with BPL. One is the LNG, which is new, Shell, and it being a benefactory. Not saying that he owns FOCO itself or the majority shareholder, whatever it is, but one with the LNG. Next with the generator, he leases the generator to BPL, or you correct me on that if I'm wrong. And then 3, there's a generator.
And then there's the grid, the transmission and distribution network sector.
And then there is the, what do you call it, the one with the solar thing.
Right.
So that's 4. 4 different entities. So there's one that his companies or
generator rental.
The generator rental. The LNG just recently.
LNG. Then 3 is solar.
The solar.
And then 4 is, 4 is a question because we're still not quite certain. We're still not quite certain who the beneficial owners are of the entities involved in the SPV, the Special Purpose Vehicle. If I could read from the article, PM Defense BPL deals. Last year, the government announced that it entered into a 25-year contract with Pike Corporation through its Bahamian management company, Island Grid Solution.
Isn't Island Grid Solution also part of FOCO? No?
Okay, this is what I'm saying.
I'm asking.
I am not certain.
You're not certain.
Right? For all that I've read, I'm still not certain, because here's one troubling thing. You may have noticed that over the roughly 12 months that we've been talking about, or the months that we've been talking about the new era in energy, or whatever they're calling it, that the names of the entities involved have changed, right, over months. As reporters report these statements, the names of the entities have changed. So I will say this. There is a 4th, and I think that is the, like I said, continue reading. The government announced that it entered a 25-year contract with Pike Corporation through its Bahamian management company, Island Grid Solutions, for the upgrade and management of BPL's transmission and distribution network. Under a joint venture partnership, the government will own 40% of the shares in a special purpose vehicle called Bahamas Grid Company, an Island Grid Solutions. See? Because before it wasn't Island Grid Solutions, it was Island Grid something.
And whoever owns Island Grid.
Right, will own 60%. The deal is still not finalized, though. And so the point is, who are I don't know if we have determined or it's been exposed to the public, who the beneficial
No one has really
owners
access yet to define what it is.
of all the entities. Yeah.
We'll go back to my initial point. Instead of saying 4, we say 3.
Yeah.
That the Sir Franklin may be involved, right? And there was a criticism by the opposition leader about if they doing it for people in their party, for local cronies, whatever it is. And I believe that Sir Franklin erred by responding to the leader of the opposition. I think that the chairman of the Progressive Party, Fred Mitchell, and said our party is doing it because, or the Minister of Finance, or the Minister in charge of Energy, the Defense, say this is the reason why we are doing what we are doing. We are conserving energy during this energy, whatever it is, but not Sir Franklin, right? But then Sir Franklin answered. And of course, the opposition leader answered Sir Franklin, and it became a private citizen political person going back and forth.
Because there's the thing. At this point in 2025, can you reasonably call Sir Franklin Wilson a private citizen?
No, it looks like he's a political.
I mean,
he has political
does
influence
he
for sure.
does he fit within the definition of a politically exposed person?
He'll be a PPE. Definitely, he'll be a PPE.
Right? And anyway, I've called constantly for governments to acknowledge.
Would you call him a consultant for the government? Or I'm going too far there. He's not a consultant. Would you say he's sitting at the table?
I think he owns the table. I mean, if there were a table, I think he owns it, and we are all sitting at
shares of it. He can't own the whole table.
No, I think he owned the whole table.
It's a government table.
And okay, see, here's what I'm saying. I think that he provided the wood for the table.
Okay, that's something.
He provided the nails for the table. He provided the varnish for the table. When the table chip up, he's fixed the table. Right? I think he even named it table. As I say, the government may be controlling the table.
Table, though. It's our table.
How could it be?
Just because he gave us a nail and the wood, you don't make it his table.
And
you just have an interest.
And where his chair is at the table.
His chair is at the corner seat.
His chair built into the table. I just saying, if there were a table, that's how I would describe
That's how you would see it. Let's go to the caller there. You have a vivid imagination. Go ahead, caller. Guided Radio AM, the CA Newry. Who owns that table?
Hey, Newry, how you doing?
Doing well. What are you saying, C. Allen?
It might be in one of them, that table might be in one of them government houses he built too.
That's a different scenario where he is also assisting our government in these low-cost homes and for this rent to own. And I appreciate him for his continued support for the government. We need more behemoths like him.
That's such an accurate statement. I appreciate that. His support for the government.
Yeah, for the government.
Yeah.
Yeah. But see, I find it funny that the rent-to-own program was sought to be communicated as if though it was a government program, and it was not.
What do you mean it's not a government program?
But if it's a private development built by private people that's been funded by private people, then how does the government get involved?
We borrow the money.
But it's borrowed money. The money comes from whoever financed those homes.
No. I think they're paying the money back to us. It's our program.
Okay. Right. See, that's why we need clarity on that. But just let me tell you, this land deal and this thing goes back to the 2016 or earlier. But I remember vaguely about when we were dredging the Clifton Pier or something, where some dirt was thrown on the land, making the land usable. Right. When they moved the dirt, they couldn't take when they removed the fill, it ended up turning swampland into regular land. And then I also should remember, if the company name is correct, I think they were involved in some litigation that actually had them declared bankrupt or something of that sort.
Well, okay. I just want to say, C. Allen, I apologize. I did not hear what you were saying clearly. I'm asking you to not repeat it, though. Don't repeat it. Just keep going. Just keep going.
What happens is, I'm saying to you, there's a lot of mix-up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And on the peak of this goes all the way back to the 20 through the 207, where BPL owes $1 billion in this one instant, plus the infrastructure would take another $1.5 billion to $2 billion to build. And then they borrowed some money that was just enough to run a drop cord from Blue Hill to 1 Bay Street for that new building that was built down there for the Chinese influence building, but yet we say we're going to reform this and build new grid. And if you say that's 5 miles between there and one road, and let's say it's $100 million or whatever, I want you to count every street going sideways, right? And then count every street going the other way, crossing, and all of the quick corners. and ask yourself, what does it cost to replace that grid and put in a smart grid? We're not getting the truth about energy reform in the Bahamas that is drastically needed to reboot the economy. Energy reform, which ICT develops on, and ICT can add 5 years to the GDP. And so when we start talking about paying for these things, you can't tax the same amount for greater amount, and I don't care how you twist it, but you take it at one pocket and the next. We have to grow this economy, and that's the conversation we are missing.
And I hear you, C. Allen, and this is where the opposition leader would have to explain it to the Bahamian people, because the government is definitely stating why they're doing it. And to counter that, there needs to be the opposition leader. You can't call in. I mean, I respect and I accept your opinion.
I'm asking as a citizen because everybody's new to this BPC argument. You know, I've been on this argument for 15, 20 years because I know where technology is. I also know that technology consumes 90% energy. And I knew when we keep talking about these energy and bid, like the $30 million digitization loan we got from the IDB in 2019, that we have yet to finish. And that's another chat for a different day, Aaron, because that same money was supposed to digitize the digital ID but it was to be finished from 3-4 years ago. And that same money is supposed to digitize the voters' roll and all those things. It's like they depend on us not remembering. I'm sorry if I remember all of these different things.
Just before you go, C. Allen, remind me of the name of the person that was brought before the courts for the Alstom matter. I want to say Fred.
No, Fred Ramsey.
There you go. Thank you. Because sometimes I forget the correct name. Thank you, C. Allen.
You have that name memorized in your head. You didn't forget that name. You was just being. Anyway, let's go to the next one.
Since we was remembering things.
Yeah, let's go. That was under the afternoon. Guardian Radio AM.
Governments are continuous.
Yeah, morning, Mr. Green. And
it's okay. Don't watch nothing,
Mr.
cousin.
Green, once again.
Yes, sir.
This whole thing, I mean, the people need to understand. I mean, all this talk about what BPL doing and all this stuff. I mean, all this is because we decide that we're going to allow our public officials to privatize our public entities, right? I mean, and this began back with Patelco. And I mean, and I was a staunch person who was against the privatization of Patelco, and I tried to write a petition to get the people to understand that was Pandora's box. Because once you started that, everything else was going to fall into place. And see, this whole thing right now, and I want the people to understand this. No leader who comes to you who wants to lead, if he is not talking about public ownership and taking back of these entities, he is not down with the people. And I mean, it seems as if the people are not going to learn, because the other day I heard a particular host and people were texting him and telling him he should get back into politics. But this individual has confessed on the radio that he is for banks and big business. So how in the world you could want someone who is down with banks and big business to come back into politics? And also when this person was involved with the selling off of your Patelco asset, I don't understand the thing. And furthermore, when the Prime Minister was talking about individuals need to be called out whenever they speak things that are not true, right? If that's the case, I mean, like the fourth estate, who's supposed to be the media or whatever, the journalists and different things, they should take a hint from the Prime Minister, and they need to start to call out individuals whenever they speak mistruth. Because if it is clear that this deal or whatever expired during the time when the leader of the opposition said it did, and if the Prime Minister is denying that, and if that is not true, I mean, he needs to be called out for that, and he needs to, come on, man, people, we need to really and truly act as if, like we care. You know, understand where I come from? We need to act as if we care, because we need to understand that the decisions that these individuals make, right, they affect us forever. And I mean, that's $7 million. That's $7 million what supposedly just gone with the when we need fire trucks, when the people inside the hospital need dialysis machines, and $7 million could just walk away. Listen, whoever owned our property, you're wrong for keeping our money. Please give us back our money, because you still get your property. All right? Give us back our money. That's it.
Okay, I hear you.
Even a property even existed. Give us back our money.
Let's see if I can get this next caller in before time to go. Producer, patch this last caller in for me, please. We're running out of time, but I'm making sure that you get to speak. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, good day, Newry and to Aaron.
Good day.
Yeah, hello.
Hi, good morning. Good morning.
You. Go ahead.
Yeah, and what we're saying here is just one gallimaufry of circumstances concerning BPL, right? Because if they didn't have an agreement closed, and this administration came in, and what the Prime Minister said in his comments that the execution of it happened under the minister's administration. The word execution means to carry out or put into effect any plan or a course of action. It is a continuous thing. So he basically was telling untruths to the public. You see, it happened to fall into their laps right now. They're not delivering. And Aaron, what you said earlier, right?
Mm-hmm.
That they talking foolishness.
Yes, sir. We are all out of time.
It is 12 noon. It's 12 noon. Today's Friday.
Today's Friday.
Weekend.
If you're in Grand Bahama, you still have time to get to St. George's Cathedral, St. George's Church Hall for the HBCU Fair. Take your 11th graders and 12th graders there. And tomorrow from 10 to 3 at Church of God of Prophecy, East Street in Lily of the Valley Corner, the HBCU Fair is here in New Providence. Take your young people there. You could get admissions finalized on the spot. You could get a scholarship finalized on the spot. Take advantage of this opportunity, Bahamians. HBCU College Fair, St. George's, Grand Bahama today until 4 o'clock. And tomorrow, Church of God of Prophecy, East Street, Lily in the Valley Corner, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Good. This has been Guardian Radio AM. This is C.A. Newry. Have a wonderful day.
Scratch your head and say mother sick. Mother sick. Who feels it knows it. Mother sick. And mother sick.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.